the 15th of October 2023, EV fires. EV fires, folks. See my sign up here. I hope you can read it. You're very welcome back. Now, we've had a few interesting comments, and I just have to pause here to get them. Now, this is on my video on the Luton Airport fire. The Luton Airport fire. And V. O'Donnell 1 posted the reg of the car would have all the information on the database which is in the public domain if it was not being concealed or wiped. It's simply that the person who took the video was an amateur using something like a mobile phone or a smartphone, and it wasn't clear enough to get the reg. I saw it myself. That's just the way it is. I don't think anyone's to blame for that, but it'd be nice if you had the reg. Adrian Byrne 8237 says another great video, Val. And don't forget, all you folks, you can change your name around a wee bit if you don't want to be public. I'd love if people would give their real names in some cases, but I understand they mightn't want to do that. But yeah, I can know by the sense of a post whether it's a genuine one or. We had a few people just try to totally derail and give abuse and just say you're a ticko in the story. That's not proper debate, you know. Now, Bits to Monsieur 123 posted, I'm sure you will find petrol and diesel make up more vehicle fires than electric ever do. But there's a lot more petrol and diesel cars. I'd say there's not any more than 1 in 30 cars. Either, well, 1 in 30 full electric. There'd be about 1 in 20 electric and hybrids. And in the hybrids they differ, but in the Mercedes hybrid, there's a battery which is only a quarter the size of the main battery, and it's under the passenger seat. So I don't know the exact figures, and I would ask anyone that has them should give them. But naturally, there are fires of ordinary vehicles. Now, what mostly happens is that the electrics under the dashboard get shorting. They short. I have a really good Hitachi digger, a really good machine, no owl electrics or anything, but there was a fault in it where it was turning on the starter as it went up the field. And I managed to wire it in such a way that if it happened, you had to have your finger on a button before it could happen, and there was a car horn to tell me if it was happening. I never had a problem with it again. It took me a week to install that wiring. Okay. Now, so if the wires inside an ordinary car short, you're going to have a fire somewhere. They can fire, they can burn, or they can burn out. It's DC current. Anyone with a car, like any car, should have usually a 10mm little ring spanner, a little one with an open end and a ring that a woman or anyone could easily turn. No ratchet or anything needed, or a solid ratchet welded up so that you just have the socket, and just undo the screw, the bolt, and take off the wire off the battery, and happy days. That ends the whole thing. Now, also, petrol and diesel cars where you have electrical faults, they can have some breach of the fuel and it can drip down on the exhaust. That's very rare. Usually you'll smell it, and usually diesel won't ignite. It needs an igniter. Diesel has a very high ignition point, very high flash point. You try putting on fire with a match. Petrol, a totally different situation. Now, where this happens and there is a fire, you can put it out by spraying it with water. You can go in and spray it. Now, if it's still burning because the short can't be stopped, all that can happen is wait till it burns out. The rubber on the wire or the rubber may go up, and nowadays they're making the wiring a lot less flammable. So there may be, surely, if you go into car dismantlers, you'll see the occasional car there in good condition burnt out. I saw a brand new Toyota all electric, which was in an accident, and it wasn't burnt out, and you couldn't assume it was. So it's been discarded for parts, but it had ordinary damage, and it went on fire, but it was in the cab, it wasn't the battery. And it damaged the inside of it so bad and burnt out the seats without touching the battery in this particular case. So you can have fires with all cars. You can have, in that case, it has to be said, it was arson. Somebody put a hammer through the window and threw in petrol and set it alight. So you'll have that type of malicious stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about accidentally going on fire. Now, the next thing to bring in is that in the comments section, I responded. Now, what he said is, I am sure that you'll find petrol and diesel cars more fires than electric ones do. Every car fire that happens is blamed on electric cars by haters. And as you say, conspiracy theorists. Hold on a minute. We have a ship, the Felicity Ace, went to the bottom of the sea. Are you saying haters did that? If you don't like or want electricity yourself from your channels like this, just because you personally have issues with electric cars, well, I'm forced to pay for them. That's the thing. They're subsidised by my tax. It's totally fine if you don't like or want electric vehicles yourself. No, it is not totally fine. I'm forced to pay for them, and there's lies being told on my media that I have to finance 40 million. RT is getting to lie about it. Okay? Yourself. Just don't be spreading hate and fake news. So now, talking about electric cars going on fire is hate speech. Are they going to amend the hate speech law to make it an offence to criticise electric cars? That'll be the next thing Helen McEntee will be doing. I thought your channel was better than that. So this chap, I do welcome his contribution, is suggesting I don't provide an objective debate. I gave an objective debate about a Nissan Leaf, and that is the truth. I don't tell lies except on Val's Pictorial Weekly, which is comedy. Now, I responded. The key words in your script above is I am sure. The problem is I am not sure. I'm not sure. This guy is sure. Car ferries have been crossing the Irish Seas and English Channel for 80 years, and nothing like this has ever happened. Car ferries going for years. He used to go over with the lorries over to the continent. My job is to assess it all. Assess. A-S-S-E-S-S. It is not to guess. It is not to guess, and it is certainly not to have Eamon Ryan tell me how to think, or anyone else. I have said windmills are a scam. I can't prove it, except that the cost of electricity goes up, and Germany is in recession with all of them. But here is a case where there is proof. One thing I am sure is that there has been no independent assessment of any such fire. That's what I've said, and there hasn't. Can you tell me what type of car went on fire in Newbridge, County Kildare, Ireland? So I'm asking the question of Bis Mundu 123, what was it? Because I can't find out, right? On the 15th of August 2023 at McDonald's. I am also sure that when EVs, right? When EVs enter terminal runaway, the fire cannot be put out. So that's my response. Now he responds back, picking out one example that happened in Kildare is poor from you, to be honest. A fire happened with a Mercedes car which had a diesel engine. Some of them have a hybrid battery underneath the passenger seat. Some of them do not. The footage was not adequate to show which one it was. It spontaneously combusted, just as appears to be the case at Luton Airport. Now, my point is, who has come forward to tell us the truth? It's hidden. Hidden. And when you hide information from me, I'm going to come a-looking. I'm going to be peeping in the door to see what's going on. That's my job, to get the truth. So it may be poor if you're an evangelist who believes this baloney, but when the truth comes home to roost, you're going to fight it to the bitter end, and it's a religion, you never give up. Maybe, God forbid, if you lose somebody. I'm afraid I'll lose friends, relatives, or other nice people on a ferry. I believe there's where the real danger is. Do your research and you will easily find out a petrol or diesel car is more likely to catch fire than any EV. I'm not so sure about that. That has not been my personal experience. But even if it is, there is no comparison in the two. An EV, an ordinary fire, an ordinary combustion engine fire is much less likely to spread. The EV's battery is contained in an aluminium casing. It's held into a casing. So when it burns, they spread rapidly. There's a huge amount of hot gas produced. A person commented to me by phone to say I was wrong to say that the temperature was 400 degrees centigrade. I think that's the catch fire. That's the flash point. That's what I gathered. But what he says is it's 1100 degrees is the temperature of the flame. And the flame comes gushing out. It doesn't come gushing out from a petrol or diesel car, and they will not burn without air oxygen, whereas an EV lithium-ion battery contains its own oxidizer. So it's effectively like a big cannon. It produces pressure, and the pressure breaks through, and it comes whizzing out. And it's yellow, red with black smoke, and the smoke is highly toxic, and spraying it with water does not work. In fact, dipping it with water does not work. Now, we'll see what's more. This information is easy to find. I've been researching this and there's nothing stopping any viewer here. Just go into YouTube and Rumble and dial up and search fires in electric vehicles and look at all that's there. I will agree with you on one point though. When an EV catches fire, the burning battery is far hotter and aggressive than internal combustion vehicles. But so there's the admission. There's the admission. What are we arguing about then? I watch your videos here to hear your point of various subjects, but please don't spread fake news just like you don't like EVs. You don't like EVs because that's what your original Luton video was. It's a long time, September, 2 months since the Newbridge fire. Nobody will tell us what type of vehicle it was. In the absence of that, I'm entitled to speculate that it's almost certainly a hybrid Mercedes. That's what I'm doing. Let this to Monsieur 123 disprove that. Rebut that. You won't. It's hidden away. And you'll find the owner has been told to Doon the veil. Shut your mouth. We've had a fire in Luton. They're going to get it very hard to suppress it if it was an electric vehicle. But even if it wasn't, and all the footage tends to show it was, even if it wasn't, the fact is it spreads rapidly. It spreads rapidly. Okay. So what I'm saying is that normally health and safety would apply. There'd be a good health and safety inquiry. Not with this. What's required to beat a religion is deaths. Is death. People have to sacrifice their lives. And then when there's enough of people dead, you'll slowly bring round enough of them to realise there is a problem. Now, I'm not talking here about EVs, another reason why I don't like them. They're a complete scam, desperately hard on the environment. They're used for low-life airheads who think because there's no exhaust pipe, they're free of pollution. That is utter baloney. They run on coal. They import electricity into Ireland up to 500 megawatts, and it's not counted as Ireland's emissions. That can go into a lot of electric cars, and you can say it's emissions free. That type of lies gets up my skin, and I campaign against it. And it's not that I do it out of hysteria. I do it because I love countering these people. Not to say now that this to Monsieur 123 is a bad person, but I have to deal with what's here. Now, I want to show you a video here and tell you, we already had the Felicity Ace go to the bottom of the sea and all that. The next thing was the Fremantle Highway went to went to the bottom of the sea, loaded with a lot of electric cars, never to be recovered. And next we have the Fremantle Highway, went to the bottom of the sea. No, wrong. I'm just trying to flick between the screens on the laptop, and that's why I make a mistake like that. The Fremantle Highway went on fire out of a port in Germany, out off the coast of Holland, and luckily it was towed back, badly damaged, and they said there was only 25 electric cars, then there was 500. There are a heap of electric cars. But this video is very, very interesting, because what this video shows, that months after, will it be a month anyway, the fire, they unloaded a Mercedes electric car, all electric car, and they took it off with a crane out of the side of the ship, and they put it in a steel bin, a steel skip, which was sealed on all sides, and it was smoking after all that time. Now I'm going to go and get the date of the Fremantle. Now, a month after it went, the Fremantle Highway went on fire on the 26th of July 2023, and a month or so afterwards, some footage was got out of them unloading, apparently out through the side, a Mercedes EQE, which I believe is an all-electric Mercedes. And I don't want to take other people's YouTube, because what I propose to do, folks, is under this video, and please keep watching, is post links to several videos on the various video platforms, not to take away what they have, but just to get you to look at them. And I think YouTube should be happy enough with me doing that. I wouldn't dream of stealing away the work of some people here. So watch this now. Here is the ship, the car, the QE, being taken out, damaged. It's been taken out of the ship. Right, now there's several of these videos. Now this is not an official video. They don't want you to know this. The salvage company is British, and Britain is an extremely woke country, and they will not tell you anything. So here's the car coming out on a big crane, and it's put into a type of skip, a rectangular steel skip. That's a Mercedes car. Now, I want to just, now here it's been covered, here it's smoking, right? See, it's smoking. This is a month after the fire, right? Okay. So the next thing they do is they put a big cover on it. A big cover to keep the fumes in and cut off the smoke, however effective that is. Now, so there is that, and we look at it. Here it's again on a different YouTube channel, and there's the same again. Okay, now that's all unofficial footage. Now the thing about it is, folks, Hyundai has recalled a whole heap of their cars. There's war going on with the car manufacturers like Volkswagen. People in charge coming out saying these are a scam or they're not suitable, and them being sacked. This is a political movement. It's a religious ideology. And there was a fire in Jervis Street car park the other day. Now, another video that I can show you here is, here's an article from the BBC. There's a family of a handicapped son in Cornwall, the Hensby family in Cornwall, in a place called St. Austell. Parked their special purpose EV. They got, I think, some grant for it to help transport their handicapped son, and it went on fire and it destroyed their house. It ruined their house. There are several examples of this. Now, whenever did any home get burned by an ordinary car fire? What I'm going to do is, I'm trying to keep this video under the 20 minutes. I'm going to post as much as I can underneath, so you people can check it out for yourselves and figure out which is right or wrong. The idea that I, as a campaigner against the entire green agenda, which I say is a scam, whether you believe in global warming or not, I claim it's an effort to control us. I had comments to make on other things as well. The least government has to say in our lives, the better. As Ronald Reagan said, the most frightening words in the English language are, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. The government employs people in their various sections that need not be qualified at all. And Eamon Ryan, our Minister for Energy, is a bicycle salesman. I don't believe he has any qualification other than a basic commerce degree. I've studied these things big time, and I have a degree in business studies, and I understand these things, how they work. So I'm entitled to comment on it. But I can't prove the windmills are a scam too easily. I can't prove the solar farms are a scam, but I can prove that electric cars I can't prove that they run on coal, which most of them do, and imported fuel, but I can prove that they're a death risk, that they're a serious health and safety risk, and I am predicting, as these are going on fire all over the place, it's only a matter of time until there is a serious fire on a ferry. And when they happen on a ferry, the toxic smoke and fumes are going to bellow out. The people will not be able to get into the lifeboats. The only hope is helicopters. If it's at night, that makes it more difficult. And the fumes are toxic. They are toxic. The fumes from an ordinary car fire are not near as bad. Right? Rubber tires burning are not great, I admit. But generally speaking, it's not as quick to take hold. The temperature's not as high, and it's not as easily spread. 2 ships gone to the finished in a very short time. We will not be told the truth. We're not going to get the truth anywhere. And when my viewers realize that every time there's a fire, and there was one in Jervis Street car park the other day, you're going to be lied to. That is the key. And when you watch out carefully for the lies, you begin to realize what the medium like RTE in Dublin is about. Will they make a program on the danger of electric cars? That's the big thing. I don't know. Maybe there's such mayhem there at the moment, they might do it. I don't know. Definitely, it's a serious health and safety issue, and it may probably cost lives. That's it, folks. I could go on for years. I'll post as much videos as I can, and at this stage, it should become quite apparent that you're doing serious damage to your finances, to your health, to your family and your children and your house in having anything to do with an electric car. Carry a hammer. When the ordinary battery breaks down, you won't be able to get out. See, are there wires to open the door or handles? See, can you wind down the window? All electric. Fancy laptops on wheels is what they've been described as. You need a hammer to break that window, the side windows in particular. Get your kids out. That's what you must have. And this is a serious matter. And anyone that thinks I'm going to let it go is making a big mistake. I'd pursue them, because these are the real modern day criminals. These are the real danger. It's not climate change. It's the danger of these idiots getting control of our lives. And a lot of this is to eventually control where we go, to have software built into the electric car to watch every move you make, to ration your mileage. That's what is at the end of all this. And we must resist it. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That'll do me for today, the 15th of October. And it's serious, so we leave it at that. Thank you.